Welcome back to Mid-East in Depth. David Ignatius comments in the Daily Star that political elites are anxious in the Arab world and want the US to explain a clear strategy. He writes, this anxiety has been compounded by President Obama's slow start in rolling out his plan to degrade and ultimately destroy ISIS. Ignatius admits that the current US strategy is work in progress. However, the campaign plans do provide more clarity. For starters, this is an army at dawn, and US commanders insist on taking little steps before big ones. Big, risky operations such as retaking the city of Mosul are many months away. He continues, the centerpiece of the Sunni outreach is a force of 5,000 National Guard fighters drawn from the tribes. Their development is seen as very urgent, and within the next 2 weeks, commanders hope to begin recruiting, paying and training the Sunni fighters. Hundreds of US and foreign trainers are supposed to be on scene by year end. He adds, military commanders are always looking for signs of progress, and they claim to see some enemy weaknesses emerging, even as the extremists continue to gain ground. Ignatius concludes, there is some solid military planning in the US strategy, but it also includes some wishful thinking. The most dubious assumption is that Iraqi and Syrian recruits can win this fight against the extremists without US advisors alongside them in battle. Thomas L. Friedman sees comparisons between ISIS and Vietnam in the Washington Post. He writes, the challenge the US faces in Iraq is trying to defeat ISIS in tacit alliance with Syria and Iran, whose local Shiite allies are doing a lot of the fighting in Iraq and Syria. Iran is seen by many Syrian and Iraqi Sunnis as dominating Iraq to keep it weak. He asks, is jihadism to Sunni nationalism what communism was to Vietnamese nationalism, a fearsome ideological movement that triggers emotional reactions in the West? He goes on, ISIS's magazine, Dabiq, recently published an article, Reflections on the Final Crusade, which argued that America's war on ISIS only serves the interests of America's enemies, Iran and Russia. It quotes US strategists as warning that Iran has created a Shia belt from Tehran through Baghdad to Beirut, a threat much greater than ISIS. He explains, then why did ISIS behead 2 American journalists? Because ISIS is a coalition of foreign jihadists, local Sunni tribes, and foreign Iraqi Ba'ath Party military officers. I suspect the jihadists in charge want to draw the US into another crusade against Muslims, just like Osama bin Laden, to energize and attract Muslims from across the world. Friedman concludes, ISIS needs to be contained before it destabilizes islands of decency like Jordan, Kurdistan, and Lebanon. But destroying it? That will be hard, because it's not just riding on some jihadist caliphate fantasy, but also on deep Sunni nationalist grievances. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. And subscribe to Mideast In Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.